back to the Car Podcast. In today's video, I'm literally gonna tell you about me getting hit by a car yesterday. Like, we're not talking like car on car. We're talking like human versus car. Me being the human versus a car. Never in a million years thought that it would happen. I always thought it was always just in TV shows and in movies, but it's definitely a thing. And if you want to hear the story, literally yesterday, of me getting hit by a car, then keep on watching today's video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Taylor, and I make these things called the Car Podcast. Essentially, they're car vlogs, but they're revamped, they're rebranded, and this is what we've came up to name them as. The ironic thing about this story in particular is I actually witnessed a homeless person getting ran over a few days prior. So I worked a bar shift and I went outside, like I was, I just got there. I was trying to like gauge what our kind of like clientele or like our income was gonna be for that night. So I stepped outside and I literally saw a homeless person like getting hit by a car. It was like a white SUV, it was super sunny out, the lady was making a left turn, and whenever I saw it, I was like, I can't believe that happened. And I didn't see like the moment it happened, but when I went outside, there was a homeless person sitting on the floor in front of a car, and there was like ambulance showing up and there was a police officer showing up. So like two and two together, she probably got hit. Inside my head, my ignorant self was like, I think she was just doing that for money, because I know like if you get hit by a car, the person that hits you has to pay for all your medical bills and pay for any injuries or losses that you have from getting hit by the car. Or essentially if you die, they have to, pay the family on top of going to jail. But yeah, I thought it was a little less extreme than that. I was like, maybe this homeless person was just trying to pretend like they got hurt where they could get money, like free money from it. Well, that was me being ignorant, me being selfish, I guess, being like, oh, it would never happen. She's just like saying that she got hit where she could get money, Well, maybe karma's a bitch, because a few days later, literally yesterday, I was out, I was riding my one wheel. I kind of want to be fully transparent. I feel like you deserve that. You deserve for me to be fully transparent. I was riding my one wheel prior. So my one wheel goes only maybe like up to like 10 to 12 miles max, maybe even less than that. Well, essentially, I was riding my one wheel and I rode it out too far and I couldn't actually ride it back in time before the battery died. So here I am carrying this like 10-pound device, literally by this one handle, for like 20 to 30 minutes. Like, I'm 30 minutes away from home, like a 30-minute walk. I stopped at a Starbucks and my plan was to plug it in and sit down for a while. Well, if you didn't know, in Hollywood, or in West Hollywood, this general area, the Hollywood, I guess, area, a lot of places don't even have plug-ins nowadays. Like McDonald's, Starbucks, I think I went in like an In-N-Out. All of these places didn't even have like a place to plug in, like say your phone or your laptop, and I tried a few different Starbucks. Like, I was so tired of carrying this thing. Like, let me put you into perspective. I stopped every block, every single place I saw, I stopped, and I was looking for chargers. Like, I would literally buy anything and everything to like sit down and charge my one wheel for like an hour, because I didn't want to walk 30 minutes like holding this like 10 to 20 pound device, like this giant golf cart tire with like a board connected to it. It doesn't look cool, like, at all. I love it. I love riding it. I almost want it to go like further, and I feel like I need to invest in like a newer version of it where it will go further. I just don't know if I'm willing to spend like $2,000 to do that. When I got down to maybe like a 25-minute walk, I was tired. I was like, I'm tired of stopping to these places. I'm just gonna have to find an alternative solution. There's no way I can carry it. There's no way I can roll it, just because of like the way it's made. You would have to like be crouching down the whole time, like holding the board level in order to like push it by your hand. So my dumbass had the clever idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna rent one of these scooters and I'm gonna haul my one wheel on the scooter back home. That's how tired I am. So I went to the nearest Lime scooter, I rented it. So essentially I had the one wheel kind of like propped on its side in front of me, and then I was standing behind it on the Lime bike. It was going fine, it was steady, it was whatever. So I go down like a few blocks and I go across a pedestrian crosswalk, right? Everything I thought was fine. I was cruising, I was good, I was watching, I was looking both ways. Next thing you know it, there's a car that's like coming down a side road from Sunset Boulevard. They come flying out, making a left turn, and they hit me. Like, they knock me off the Lime scooter, I get hit on my side, and the one wheel flies, the Lime scooter is underneath her car. Luckily, I didn't get my foot ran over, and I'm like sitting on the ground, and I'm just like, holy shit, that just happened. I was instantly sore. Like, I was just having flashbacks of like being in this car crash that I was in when I was like 18 years old, and I was like, holy shit. Like, my life just flied before my eyes. So here I am, I'm like trying to stand up. There was like a bystander that like saw it happen. He's like, are you okay, ma'am? Like, do you think you broke anything? Or blah, blah, blah. Like, do we need to call 911? And I was like, no, I think I'm okay. I said, I'm just really sore. I think I'm just like, I'm out of breath. I think I'm fine. The lady gets out of her car and she's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry, I can't believe that happened, like, I apologize. Like, she's being super sincere. Like, her whole body is like shaking, like, I can't believe this just happened. I'm like, it's fine, it's whatever. She's like, let me take you to the ER, let me pay for your medical bills. And I was like, no, I don't want you to do that. Like, I don't want to get like the police involved, and I don't want, you know, blah blah blah. She's like, no, but that's like my courtesy, like, I did it to you, so I want to pay for it. And I was like, let me just take your information in case, but I think I'm totally fine. Like, I just have a few like bruises, scratches. My thumb was swollen. My thumb has came down like quite a lot. I've been icing it all night. But moral of the story, I'm fine. This is not my girl's first rodeo, you know? So I asked her if she can like back her tire off of the wheel, and then I was just gonna keep on going. And why I think it was important for me to be transparent is, do I think me as a pedestrian, if I was just riding the Lime scooter, if I was just riding the one wheel, would I have had less injuries? Maybe. Would I have been less prone to get hit by a car? Maybe. I don't know why I think that. I just think that maybe partly part of the equation was me using the scooter incorrectly as to why I got hit. But also, I don't know at the same time, because like I said, I looked both ways before I started to cross. This car out of nowhere came flying through and made a left turn on a side road. So I don't really know what to say. Like, the lights were on for me to cross, but once again, to make a left turn, you yield on green, essentially. So I mean, I don't know like who's in the right or wrong situation here. I just have to say that California drivers are insane. I am still astonished. Like, I never in a million years, I've never known anyone that's got hit by a car. I've only like maybe witnessed, you know, the aftermath of someone quote unquote being hit by a car, but in reality I didn't think that it happened a lot, and now I'm in the full believing stage of this shit happens like a lot. Like, this is like a normal thing in California. So it is what it is. Like I said, it's not my first rodeo. I'm kind of over it. I'm just really sore. When I first woke up today, I didn't really want to do anything. Like, my whole body has body aches. But, you know, that's not just me being a baby. That's me having to realize that I did get blown into the cement from a car, and I have to be super grateful that I didn't get like ran over. Like, my foot could have got ran over. I could have broken my legs. I could have broken my back. I could have got a concussion. It could have fucking killed me. Like, it's a lot better that I'm sore and I'm walking away like, why am I being a baby about this? It's like, you have to realize that it is kind of traumatic, and it's okay for me to feel bad about myself. Like, I don't have to go out and like force myself to go do things. Like, I can take a few days to recover. But I'm just a person, I'm like, I feel like a baby because I've been in a worse situation. Like, I've been in a car crash and not been able to feel anything from the waist down before. So like, I'm kind of like in the perspective of like, I'm being a baby, I need to get over it. But just up like my knees, my elbows, my legs look really bad. The only thing up on the topper part is just my finger hurts like it's purple and has like a blood blister, but I think it'll go down. I'm not gonna go see a paramedic. I didn't want them to call 911. I didn't want to do all that just because I don't really have the money to spend on it, and I don't want other people to have to like spend the money on it, you know? That's just me being like, I think this is my fault. Like, I don't want you to have to pay for it. But maybe I'm just being too nice of a person. I should have like went and got sought out because I didn't have to pay for it, you know? Well, whatever. With that being said, I guess we're gonna move on to the next topic. Second topic has to do with birth control. And I know a lot of people aren't gonna be able to relate to this. I didn't think I was gonna be one to relate to this. But if you know, birth control has a lot of side effects, especially if you're taking the wrong dosage and blah, blah, blah. That's why it's important to have a doctor you trust, blah, blah, blah. So if you didn't know, like in my last few videos I've been talking about, I moved down here. I wasn't able to get my yearly appointment in Michigan. So they basically just cut me off of my prescription, like nonchalant. Just like after I told them I'd moved and I wasn't going to be able to make the appointment, they just cut me off. They're like, okay, whatever. Like, this girl can find her own birth control, essentially. Like, they had no sympathy for me whatsoever. So in that part, I was kind of screwed. So I rushed to find an OBGYN. The OBGYN was primarily Latino. There's a lot of Latinos in California, and I just have to be aware. We're right by Mexico. What do you expect, Taylor? There's a lot of Latinos. There's a lot of Mexicans. So this OBGYN specifically has all, like, Latino workers. Maybe it's just like a family-owned business. I don't know. When I had the appointment, I specifically told them the type of dosage, the name of the prescription I was on, and they said they would order it in. Well, whenever I got it ordered in, it was a different brand, it was a different dosage, and I was like completely thrown off. So I call up, like I'm at Target, and they're like, by the way, did you know that like this is not the same as like your past prescription? I was like, huh, that's weird. So I call them up and I'm like, hey, I'm at Target right now. I'm like here to pick a prescription and it's not the right one. And they said, oh, no, honey. Like, it is the right one. Like, it's just like an off-brand version of the one that you used to take. That everything's fine. The levels are fine. Like, just take it. Like, it's better for like your insurance. I'm like, okay. So I say to Target, I was like, apparently they're saying that it's like an off-brand version of this, like blah, blah, blah. They're like, well, technically it is the same ingredient. So I guess just give it a go. So, because Target wasn't able to change it, it's specifically a doctor that has to like tell Target that they're able to change the prescription, if that makes sense, which is where the red flag part was. So I took it home and I started taking this birth control. Like, let me tell you, like the next few days were f***ing hell for me. Like, I thought I was pregnant. My boobs start enlarging. My boobs are super sensitive. I'm starting to blow all over. I'm getting acne like I'm 12 years old again. And I'm just cramping for no reason at all. Like, I'm not even bleeding at this point. I'm not even having a period. I'm just fucking feeling like I'm on a period 24/7. Well, come to find out, afterwards, I called up the doctor and I was like, hey, I'm having side effects, can you give me a call back? I waited 48 hours. This OBGYN did not contact me, like within 48 hours. So I called them back and I'm like, hey, this is really important. Like, I have side effects from taking this medicine. Like, can I please talk to someone, whether it be a nurse or blah, blah, blah. Well, then they said, we'll call you back by the end of the day. So finally someone contacts me and they're like, yeah, my apologies. I thought I prescribed you the same thing. Like, what were you taking? Blah, blah, blah. And then they looked up like the actual specs of the medicine. And they're like, yeah, you need to stop taking that immediately. Like, your BMI versus the hormones that you're taking, there's too much hormones for the weight that you are at currently, so it's not beneficial for you to take it. And I was like, oh great. So I've been taking like this medicine for like a month straight just to find out that it was not good for my body. Like, excuse me. So anyways, she called in the new one and then she's like, just give it like a day and it'll come in and you can take it. You can take the medicine like you used to be taking. I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm like, gee, like what is happening right now? So finally I get back on the right medicine and like there's still some things that haven't really like adjusted. Like, for instance, like my boobs are much bigger than they were like a month ago, which I guess is not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe it will go down eventually, but moral of the story, be very adamant. Don't be afraid to like say what you need and what you need and how you need it. Like, be very aggressive and be like, hey, I got the wrong medicine, I need the right one like immediately. You know, rather than sitting around and being super nice, like, hey, I think I didn't get the right one, like, I think I'm having side effects. Like, no, you are having side effects. I need a medicine. What can you do for me? You know, kind of like down to the point. I think I should have been more of that, and then I wouldn't have had to suffer like feeling like shit for a fucking month. And I should have been like to the Target person, like, look up the specs. I want to know the exact ingredients and I want to know how much percentage of hormones, etc., etc., etc. And that's what I should have done different in this situation. The third topic I want to talk about is I was gonna drive myself down to San Francisco, which is around a 6 or 7, maybe 8 hour drive max, for a PA job that I found on Facebook if I was to get it. Well, I called my mom up and I was like, hey, by the way, do you think this is beneficial? Like, they're paying me X amount of money, but essentially to get a hotel room down there is like $200. For gas is probably gonna be like $80 to like $90. Is it even really beneficial for me to go and do this like PA job? And be on a set for like 2 days work? me. And she was like, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, it's fine. It's good to get experience, blah, blah, blah. But have you went and got your car serviced? Like, your car is due to be serviced. You've already hit your mileage since you drove it out there from Grand Rapids. I was like, okay, perfect, fine. So I finally called up a Ford dealership and I'm like, hey, like, I need my car serviced. You know, I'm new here. You know, this is my car specs, the details, blah, blah, blah. And I scheduled an appointment. Well, the day that I scheduled it, they actually were able to get it in that day. But what I didn't know is that my car was going to be a pain in the ass. It was going to take a week to fix. And then they were going to hold my car for I don't know how long. And I wasn't going to get my car back for maybe like a week and a half, you know? So it was not fun at all. I don't know if you've ever been in the same experience. What's your experience going to the Ford dealership or the dealership? Do they ever take your car for like weeks on end and refuse to give it back? Because same, literally same. They got the oil changed and stuff, and I actually thought I was going to get it back that day. So I went and I hung out at a mall that was like close to this Ford dealership. I walked maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, which isn't like terrible when you're not carrying a one wheel. Right around the time they closed, I went back and I was going to pick up the car. Well, then when I got there, they were like, I'm sorry, but like your car, there's actually much more to your car than you think. Your car has a recall on it for like something in the front, and then something about the oil casket on the left on the backhand side is not feasible for you to drive right now. We need a car technician to like, you know, change the filter. So I'm actually going to go ahead and end the car podcast here just because my camera battery is dying as we speak momentarily. If you want to tune into next week's car podcast, I'm going to be talking about the story time where my manager was literally begged to buy a girl new pants, and story number 2 where the manager fucking shooed away someone on the side of the street and called the cops. So tune into next week's. As always, I'll leave my socials on the screen where you can check me out on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you, and I will see you when I see ya. Bye. Toodles.